The focus of this video lesson is linear automobile depreciation, part 2. Example 1. Suppose Jack purchased a car 5 years ago at a price of $27,600. According to the research on this make and model, similar cars have straight line depreciated after about 12 years. How much will Jack's car be worth after 66 months? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our straight line depreciation equation. So let's start the same process that we did last time. We'll identify our coordinates. So we know that this particular car loses value over time. We know that at time 0, or 0 years, the car is worth $27,600. And we know that after 12 years, the car is officially worth 0. So we know the coordinates of our intercepts are at 0, 27,600, and at 12, 0. The first thing we need to do is find the slope. Our slope, if you remember, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Every point has an x and a y. Let's call this first point x1, y1, and the second point x2, y2. Therefore, our slope is 0 minus 27,600 over 12 minus 0, which comes out to be negative 27,600 divided by 12. Using our calculator, 27,600 divided by 12 is negative $2,300. Okay, so that is our slope, or our car is losing that much value per year. So our equation is then y equals negative 2,300x plus b, or y-intercept, which is 27,600. Now, that hasn't answered the question, because the question itself is asking how much will the car be worth after 66 months? So the first thing we need to figure out is, well, how many years is 66 months? Because our equation here is in terms of years. So let's give ourselves some space here. So we have 66 months. Now we know there are 12 months per year. So we're going to divide this by 12 months to get the number of years. Okay, so let's use our calculator. 66 divided by 12 is 5.5 years. So we want to know how much his car is worth after 5.5 years. And we're going to do that by taking this 5.5 years and plugging it into x, which represents years. So that gives us y is equal to negative 2,300 times 5.5 years plus our y-intercept, negative 27,600. Using our calculator, we have 2,300 negative times 5.5 years plus negative 27,600, which gives us a value of 14,950. So Jack's car will be worth $14,950 after 66 months. Now it's your turn to try. Try this. A car sells for $18,495 and straight line depreciates to 0 after 9 years. Write the straight line depreciation equation for this car and an expression for the value of the car after W months. Example 2. The straight line depreciation equation for a car is y equals negative 4,000x plus 32,000. In approximately how many years will the car's value decrease by 25%? Okay, so the first thing we need to recognize is that our equation here tells us a lot about the car. We know that the car is losing value at $4,000 per year, and we know that the car started out as a $32,000 car. We want to know how long it will take in order for it to decrease by 25%. So let's go ahead and let's calculate what that would be. So our $32,000 car, we want it to only be worth 75% of what it was. That would be a decrease of 25%. So we're going to take the 32,000 and we're going to multiply it by 0.75 because that is 100% minus 25% gives us 75%. So we want to figure out when will the car be worth 75% of its original value. So we have here 32,000 times 75% or 24,000. We want to know when the car will be worth $24,000. So $24,000 represents the value, and the variable in our equation that represents value is y. So we're going to take our equation, y equals negative 4,000x plus 32,000, and we're going to take this 24,000 and replace it with y in order to figure out x, the years for when it will be that value. So we have 24,000 is equal to negative 4,000x plus 32,000. Now, in order to solve this equation, we're going to start by removing the negative 32,000 from both sides of the equation. That's going to give us negative 8,000 Then we're going to divide both sides of the equation by negative 4,000 to isolate the variable x. And then negative 8,000 divided by negative 4,000 is 2. So we can say then that in 2 years, this car value will decrease by 25%. And that's it. Now it's your turn to try. Try this. Write an algebraic expression that represents the length of time it will take the car in example 2 to have a value of $B. Okay, last example. Example 3. Suppose that your car's straight line depreciates monthly over time. You know that after 12 months, your car was worth $24,600. According to an online car value calculator, after 23 months, your car is now worth $21,850. How much does your car depreciate each month? Okay, so first off, let's identify the 2 points or coordinates that they're telling us. So we know at 12 months, it's worth 24,600. So remember, x is time. So at 12 months, we're at 24,660. And at 23 months, we are at 21,850. Now, in order to determine how much it depreciates per month, we simply need to figure out the rate or the slope of this line. Now, if we remember correctly from before, our slope is given by m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now remember, slope is just the rate or how quickly something changes over time. So we're going to be finding out how much it changes in dollars over how much it changes in months. So let's take a look again. Here we have x1, y1, and x2, y2. So that gives us 21,850 minus 24,600 over 23 minus 12. Now be really careful here and make sure that you put the values in the correct order, otherwise it changes the answer. So in our numerator, we have 21,850 minus 24,600, which is negative 2,750. In our denominator, we have 23 minus 12, which is 11. Using our calculator, we have 2750 divided by 11, which is negative $250. Now remember, this is in terms of months, so we're going to say that this car depreciates or loses value $250 per month. And that's it. Now it's your turn to try. Try this. A car straight line depreciates monthly over time. After 8 months, the car is worth $29,520. But after 18 months, the car was worth $26,420. How much does this car depreciate each month? And what was the value of the car when new? Write an equation to represent the value of the car over time in months. Give it a try.